Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. We are rounding out the Better Tomorrow Trilogy with part 3, Love and Death in Saigon, which, in the best term I can put it, is a franchise killer. It just takes what made the original special and different and just reduces it to a kind of action film that's not got a great deal of action. It has a little bit too much character and it's a little bit too long, and it just was a little bit of a disappointment. A Better Tomorrow 3 shifts gears completely. It's a prequel version, first of all. It follows the character of Mark, Chow Yun-fat's character. The action is set in war-torn Vietnam. Mark is no longer the fully formed icon from the first film. He's a kind of man that's shaped by chaos and conflict and impossible choices, and it never quite feels like the real character. At the centre is a kind of forced love story between a former friend and a woman boss of a gang who is fantastic and probably the standout of the film. It feels a little bit mismatched and it doesn't tonally fit what came first in part 1 and part 2 in this one. It's directed by Tsui Hark, who was a producer on parts 1 and 2.
咁辛苦，竟然攞返啲佣金，唔係為咩？
你係我呢個世界上最崇拜嘅女人。乜唔係你阿媽咩？
It tries to do something different and ultimately doesn't honour the first two. This could have been a really excellent lead up following that Mark character through his further adventures before he came into part 1, which I think would have been terrific. We've no Ho in this either, which is a real shame because I missed that character from the first two. Like I said, Anita Mui steals the film. She is the heart and soul of the film, I guess. She is at the heart of the love triangle. She is a woman who's working in the underworld who can absolutely take care of herself. She's kind of strong, commanding. She a little bit emotionally complex as well, and she brings something really fresh to this series, and you feel like out of the three characters who are often against insurmountable odds, this is the person most capable of doing the most damage. And when she's doing that action set pieces on film, it looks incredible. Absolute standout, definitely stealing the film, which is a surprise when you've got a character like Mark, played by Chow Yun-fat, who was exceptional in part 1, being overshadowed easily here. There is a lot of deviances within the story of this one, where it kind of jumps back and forward and they just try to do things for the sake of it. It's an action film where there's not a lot of action. There's two major set pieces, one early on in the film, and of course the typical finale, which absolutely is excellent and almost redeemed the film. But it tries to do too much here. It's trying to pack too much into the one film. It's trying to be a romance, it's trying to be a war film, it's trying to be a drama, it's trying to be a self-discovery of characters, what's shaping them. It's pushing too much in and it becomes fractured within itself. It doesn't have that clear narrative of this is where the story is evolving. It feels like we'll have an action set piece, we'll have some romantic fun moments, we'll just move on to them separating and then coming back together, and it just feels disjointed and not 100% complete, and it loses that kind of stylistic aesthetic that John Woo had put into the series. It loses the kind of powerful nature of that character, diluting him by making him lesser than what we've seen him in part 1 and his brother, which is basically the same character, in part 2, but gives us something that's really terrific in Anita Mui, who I would like to have seen the film more centred around that character, because I felt that she was absolutely charismatic, she was wonderful, and the real heart and soul of the film. You can definitely see the differences between Tsui Hark and John Woo here. It's less operatic gunplay, it's more chaotic energy, and some of the characters are more caricatured than what we had within the first two films. It was a disappointing film. It was a film that was a struggle to get through. It felt overly long. It felt as if it would meander in certain moments. That being said, the finale, the last 20 minutes where we have an exceptional action set piece, is great. Very chaotic, very bloody. It keeps building up into an incredible tank chase at the end of it, and it's really fun, and I wish the film had more sequences like this. I wish we didn't have to wait 100 minutes to get to this 20-minute incredible sequence. It just felt as if we were treading water until we got to the good stuff at the end. Bit disappointing with part 3, but we still have parts 1, 2 to think back on. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at the extras for part 3. Here we are in the disc for A Better Tomorrow 3. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have an audio commentary by critic author David West. Then we have Third Time Lucky, interview with the screenwriters Yi Ming-lung and Fu Ho Tai. This runs for 24 minutes 33 seconds, and they're kind of talking about how they came up with the story, how they had something that was changed and fitted into what ultimately became this film. All Our Tomorrows, interview with Hong Kong filmmaker and academic Gilbert Poe. A great conversational piece again. I do feel as if a lot of the extras on here cover similar material, particularly the relationship between Wu and Tsui Hark. Next we have Nam Flashbacks, interview with Vietnam War researcher. I really liked this one. I didn't think I was going to go into it. 16 minutes 35 seconds. Really a little bit of context here, which was great. Code of Bullets Part 3 is the third part of the archival feature. I really enjoyed this and all the other discs. Again, it's just another fun one. It's 10 minutes 20 seconds. Similarly, Hong Kong Confidential, Inside A Better Tomorrow 3, Love and Death in Saigon, with author Grady Hendrix. This was 10 minutes 23 seconds. Again, I like Hendrix. I like his passion for the subject. I don't agree with his opinion of the movie, but there was some interesting facts in here, including the actor that played the sort of old grandfather who runs the apothecary in this one, and who he had been in the previous film, which was a real surprise and something I hadn't picked up. There's also deleted scenes, image gallery and theatrical trailer. That's the extras for part 3 in the Better Tomorrow saga. So there we have it. Should be said that this set also comes with the Taiwanese cut, which adds an extra 10 minutes into the film. Ugh. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I didn't watch that one. It's definitely the weakest of the trilogy and the most different. It doesn't really fit in with the first two parts, and it trades this kind of tight emotional crime storytelling for something broader, more chaotic, adding in love, a story which feels unnatural and doesn't really hit home. The 4K still look great, but the film is just not. I'd love to know your thoughts on A Better Tomorrow 3. Let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, or found it average. Where did you think it landed within the Better Tomorrow trilogy? I would love to know. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.